Manny Viloria Show, Episode 001, Online Marketing and the Philippines. In this episode, you'll find out about how this podcast came to be, plus why online marketing is something you should learn today, and how gaining a better understanding of Philippine culture can be quite fun and interesting. This and more when we return. Hi, I'm your host, Manny Viloria, and this podcast is brought to you by PinoyBizNow.com. I've always been interested with computers ever since, but when I went to college, my dad was willing to pay for a course in accounting, and he told me that if after graduating from accounting I still wanted to take up computer science, then he was willing to pay for it. So I decided, okay, let's push through with this, and it turned out to be a blessing because by taking up business administration, I was exposed to the world of marketing. So when you combine marketing and the interest in computers, you end up with online marketing. And since I was born and raised here in the Philippines, I'm trying to combine online marketing with promoting Philippine culture and helping others learn to speak in Tagalog. And so here we are today with this Online Marketing Philippines podcast. And I hope to share with you the different ways by which you can use the internet to gain an extra income, for example, and help you achieve the kind of lifestyle that you want for you and your family. So there's no denying it. The internet is everywhere, especially in the lives of people. If you look at some of our children, they don't watch cable TV as often as they used to. And if you tell them that they have to do their homework at a certain time, you won't hear any complaints about, oh no, that's the time of my favorite cartoon show. They just say, that's okay, anyway, I'll just catch the show in YouTube. Remember, in the Philippines, we say YouTube. We don't say YouTube. Okay. We also sometimes say together instead of together. Anyway, that's for a future episode on Filipino English. So, people keep on going to the internet, whether they use their laptops or their smartphones. Like Filipinos, we love to go to Facebook. And if you look at the status updates on their Facebook wall, you'll notice that more and more Filipinos are going mobile. So what does this mean? It means that you need to establish your presence on the internet. A lot of people are looking at the internet, and the question is, will they find you? For example, how did you find this podcast, this audio recording? You found it somehow through the internet, perhaps through a web page, by word of mouth, or perhaps on a Facebook wall post. The thing is, you are on the internet. I am not speaking to you live. This is a recorded podcast, and yet you're able to hear my words. In the same way that you can also share your thoughts, your stories, your life with people all over the world with the help of the internet if you record your voice and upload it, or if you write your words and publish it online in the form of a blog, for example. A blog is basically a website that is easy to update or add text and images to because there are so many tools available online. And it will be to your advantage if you take advantage of all of these available tools, some of which are even free. For example, in blogger.com, I've been trying to convince more people to start blogging, and the typical question is, but what will I write? What if my grammar needs a lot of work? What if I can't speak or write in English? Well, there is no rule that says you need to speak or write in English. Pwede po kayo mag-Tagalog. That's the Filipino phrase for you can speak in Tagalog. Just as I did. Just as you heard, right? You can speak in any dialect. In the Philippines, for example, there is Kapampangan, Ilocano, Bisaya, and more. Do not limit yourselves. Do not use that as an excuse just so that you can continue living your lives simply watching the internet instead of contributing something to the web. When you contribute something online, you are in effect building your name. I often tell my friends in SWA Ultimate, that's the Supreme Wealth Alliance Ultimate Program, that you need to build your name first and your business second. And one way of building your name first is by publishing articles or uploading audio clips that provide useful information to people. Now, before you can start sharing your thoughts, your life stories, your tips, your articles, you need one important ingredient, and that ingredient is confidence. Confidence, the ability to stand before others and share your thoughts, speak your mind without wondering if they're going to think you're not that bright or if they're going to think that you might be saying something that's wrong. In the case of the Philippines, my fellow Filipinos tend to have too little confidence. For example, if we're talking about English, I've met a lot of Filipino friends who know how to speak in English, but because they lack confidence, they prefer not to. They use the excuse, nosebleed yan, nosebleed. I don't know why or how the term nosebleed came about. Maybe speaking in English is such a difficult task that something ruptures in their brain and it flows out through their nose in the form of a nosebleed. But it reminds me of this story. Someone was asking me about a certain business and she asked me, so where can I get more information? And then I said, you can approach any independent distributor. And her reaction was, wow, nosebleed. I was wondering, she was speaking to me in English, and then when I simply said, you have to speak to an independent distributor, her reaction was, wow, nosebleed. Well, all I can tell my Filipino friends is, kailangan nyo lang po ng kumpiyansa. You just need confidence. Lahat ng bagay po ay pwedeng pag-aralan. You can study everything if you really are interested. There are books, there are people, resource people you can approach, there are exercises. You can simply practice. If you want, you can practice by yourself. For example, since you're listening to this podcast, if you listen to this podcast at least twice, if you like, you can try and copy what I'm saying, and in the process, you will learn English. Matututo po kayo mag-English. And if you're wondering, if I can blog in any language, why learn English anyway? Well, if you want to reach a wider audience, I know that the people from China and the French, the Germans will react to this, but I don't think it's that easy to learn French, Chinese, Mandarin, German, Spanish in our lifetime, given our very busy schedule. So I tell my Filipino friends, go ahead and practice your English. Try writing, and if you make mistakes, that's okay. That's part of learning. And the best way to practice is by blogging or by audio blogging, by recording your voice. If you're shy, don't put your name first. But I highly recommend that right from the start, you tell the world who you are. Use your name so that when people see how you struggle, how you sometimes fail, and yet how you continue to rise up to the challenge, how you bounce back in the face of adversity. Kapag may mga taong nangungulit dyan o kinukutya ka, kaya mo pa rin tumayo at harapin sila. Then people will see you grow, and it's in that process, that journey, that people will grow to appreciate you even more. Now, why is the internet quite ideal? Now, for the typical Filipino who tries to find a larger source of income, some Filipinos will fly out of the country and work perhaps in the Middle East, in Hong Kong, in Germany, in other parts of Europe, just so that they can send money back home here in the Philippines. So they sacrifice the time that they could have spent with their children, for example, and then when they come back, they feel lost because the kids have grown and the kids don't really see them as their mother or father because there is a gap. How sad for people who have to leave their family so far away just so that they can earn an income. With the internet, well, the internet connections here in the Philippines are acceptable. They're fast enough. If you go to the mall, for example, the Wi-Fi connection is passable. And since a lot of people are using their phones, you can use your phone to blog, for example, or to send an audio clip. Right now, I'm recording this particular segment of the podcast using a smartphone because the place where I have a computer and a headset mic, a USB mic, it's quite noisy. People are watching their favorite telenovelas. So every evening here in the Philippines, I guess from 7:30 until 10:30, a lot of people are glued to their TV sets watching telenovelas, some of which have stories which are quite riveting. And the thing is, people would rather watch TV than make a recording or write an article. But if you have a cell phone which can record your audio, and if you find some kind of empty time slot in your day, for example, you can already take those few 2 or 3 minute breaks to record anything that you want to say. For example, in this particular podcast episode, I'm not recording this in one go. I'm assembling a series of 2 or 3 minute audio clips, and I'm just putting them together. Now, if you don't want to go that route, you can simply make a 2 or 3 minute audio clip. One of the sites you can visit is soundcloud.com. 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 You don't need a website. If you have a Facebook account, you can easily log into soundcloud.com. And if you have a smartphone, there is a downloadable app that works with SoundCloud. You make your quick recording, and then you click the upload button, and it'll be sent to your SoundCloud account. And if you don't have an internet connection, then go to the mall and use the Wi-Fi connection over there. The point is this: it has never been this easy to add content to the web. So I invite you to try it also. In the upcoming episodes, I shall give you tips on how to promote your blog or your audio blog or your SoundCloud audio clips or your podcast, and how you can attract people so that some of them who will grow to like and trust you will support you in your online projects in the future. And that's it for this initial episode of the Manny Viloria Show. In the future, you can check out the show notes at mannyviloria.com. That's MannyViloria.com. And I invite you to visit the Facebook fan page at mannyviloriashow.com. And please subscribe to the iTunes podcast feed, and please rate it 5 stars. I appreciate your time and your support. Until the next episode, ako po si Manny Viloria ng Viloria.net. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.